and because Adam Curry made fun of me.
Hello and welcome to whatever episode of Unrelenting this may be.
I love how you said to play the theme halfway through our show that we've just been doing for the last half hour.
It hasn't been a show. This has been tech support. This is
we've had tech talk on the show. What do you mean it's not been a show? Are you not recording for that last half hour?
It's learning on the fly. Only after I said I was starting to record it because it was starting to glitch. But I don't know if it's a glitch or things just have to work their way through. You told me this system is great.
Sure. It works great for me.
Broadcasting live.
I haven't rebooted in about 6 months, man. It works great.
Live from, are you on your Mac Mini too?
Yeah.
Double Mac Mini action today. Woo!
That's right.
It's all Mac Mini all the time.
We're all Mac all the time, unlike, those people like Ben. You know, Ben's a trans Linux person.
Is he?
Yeah, you have to be careful with pronouns.
Tom Tomsky said, where's the tweet? See, I haven't done any of that today because I normally like an hour before the show, it's like, well, now I need to do this. Now I need to do that. Today it was like, let's just get the audio working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But as the show's going on, I mean, Gene bloviates. So the nice thing is I can just go through and do things.
Well, yeah, you didn't tell me we weren't live. I thought we were live. That's why I talked for the last half hour.
We are live. And I opened up the thing nobody's boosted. So, I mean, that's okay.
Well, why would they?
I don't know. They don't boost. And then it didn't, it doesn't go pew. Boost. And then it doesn't pew. And then it doesn't boost. Mm-hmm. And then it does that. But I did as, you kept telling me, get the Mac Mini, man. And the more I look at
it. It's a great Mini.
I mean, right now on my Stream Deck, it says I'm using 20% of my CPU. And the other day I did hit the 16 gig of memory, which I did get the 24. But I'm thinking I'm either, because I've got until I bought it from Amazon because Amazon was cheaper than Apple.
It's because it's a gray market.
No, it said from Amazon.com. I mean, they sold it. They are an official Apple retailer, I
don't believe that's true. I think they're gray market.
It's the Amazon folks. Hey, I don't know. Maybe it fell off of a truck, but Apple was like,
Amazon,
they emailed
Honest
me.
Abe's, Photoshop, same difference.
They're like, welcome to your new Mac Mini. And I'm like, well, okay. Okay.
Did it start off in Hebrew?
Maybe. This is where it came from. It was much cheaper, much better. And it
was way cheaper.
From somebody that is used, and I used a MacBook Pro from like 2009 to probably like 2014 until it was finally. So it's been about 10 years since I've used Apple with regularity.
Right.
And this is the way this works now for anybody that just watches YouTube videos, checks their email, and surfs the web. You can switch back and forth between both of these things without a problem.
Super easy.
So that
barely an inconvenience.
Right. Now for me, asshole who wants to change everything. Oh my God. It's like the first 48 hours is like you're having an aneurysm. Like you don't remember. How do you do this?
You're having withdrawal symptoms. That's all it is. It'll pass.
Well, it's the simple things like, okay, I have bad eyes. So when I get to a lot of web pages, they are not really sized correctly for me. So I like to zoom in.
Resize them. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now on the Windows machine, you hit control and then play with the little wheel on the mouse.
Right.
Doesn't work out of the box and OS X. You have to go get another program. You have to get a mouse program.
No, you just need to get Edge.
You need to get Edge. What are you? Is it the browser Edge? You mean?
Yeah, the Edge browser. Yeah. I use that on every platform,
and that does it automatically without
Android, Windows, Mac. I just not trans Linux, but everything else pretty much.
But so that was that part. I mean, like the simple things. Like, why is that different? And I get it, but Why are your open and close and minimize buttons on the opposite side as Windows?
Yeah, you know, Ben asked about that too. You do realize that's the original side they were on, and then
that's
Microsoft
fine.
Moved them to not get sued.
I know. But this is like,
So
again, this is from people coming from one to the other. You're like, why would you do that to me? It's supposed to be over here. And then why is it just red, yellow, and green? They're like, what does that mean? I don't. I mean, I know they have the little X in the thing of the thing, but just every and then the prompting you for the username and or your password over and over and over again. That's a lot of fun.
That's because OS X has a thing that Windows doesn't call security.
I don't want any security, man. No.
Clearly.
Why would I want security?
No.
Can I just go to my last one where it said, hey, we're live on Unrelenting, and I can we're over-relenting or overreacting from November 15th here. I can just repost that and everybody will get the idea.
Perfect.
Like,
yeah, you got it.
You
got it.
Well, here was the thing. I wanted to I did install a app that would let me read and write to the NTFS file system because I've got like 8,000 external drives.
Of course you do.
Now, the way to do this is, you need to, and there's a lot of things that you have to go in and okay and put your password in. That I get.
Mm-hmm.
This one was, you have to turn your fucking computer off. You have to turn it on by holding it, the on-off button, until it gets into the recovery thing. Let it go through about 15 minutes of checking all of your files before it lets you choose the setting to allow the third-party extensions. Like, what the fuck?
What extension are you installing?
The thing to run the NTFS file system. I forget what the thing was called, but it was highly recommended.
Well,
it's a legit thing.
So you have actual external drives rather than the NAS.
I have both.
The NAS will work just fine.
Right. Oh, I have both
without doing anything.
Because like the fucking Drobo here, I got like a 16 terabytes worth of things that I wanted to be able to access, even if it's temporarily, and that is an NTFS based file system.
Well, you could have also converted those.
Oh yeah, you could easily have converted 16 terabytes of data into another thing. You can just move it all around, which is what you can eventually do, but it's not like it's quick.
I mean, you could have just bought a new NAS and just put everything on there.
I should have just bought a new Windows machine. That was the first 24 to 48 hours was like, fuck this shit, man. Come on. It shouldn't be this hard. It just shouldn't.
It isn't. You made it hard.
No, it's the way I like to do everything. And then routing the audio.
Making it hard.
And we're making it break because we got
not what she said, giggity.
Got loop back on here from Rogue Amoeba so you can move the things around.
I totally don't need that, but okay.
Well, you do if you want to do the thing with the mix minus so you can hear the music.
No, you absolutely don't. You do that in the Mo2.
You don't do that in the Mo2.
You totally do that in the Mo2.
Don't. It's not how it works. And how do you change the individual inputs in things like the browser? You can't do it.
You could totally do that. Absolutely.
You got to have the loop back to send the channels where you want them to.
Totally don't. Not at all.
Totally do. It's the only way to fly.
Yeah.
But that was
this is called PC person learning the Mac.
But I've been on the Mac before, and it's like this.
Apparently not.
Every little thing. Oh, just even like I had a bunch of scripts that it's like, well, no, but then I'm like, well, no, the YouTube downloader, YTDLP. It's like, well, you have to put the URL in quotes. And I'm like, fuck that. You know how much more time that takes? I'm doing all this stuff on the fly. People send in requests for the show. I copy the URL. I go in. I hit the up button
because it's using that for
the rock and roll pre-show. But then I go in and just
so hold up. You told me for years how you have all this music that was recorded by people on tape.
I do. And when people request things, people send in requests with live tracks that are available online. It's mainly YouTube, and we will play them. So this is how I grab them. And then it's like, oh, well, you could just change to the bash environment. Well, why did you just say that in the first place? Like, why would I want to do more? That's just every little thing.
Not
is
only
like pulling
are you breaking
teeth.
the original copyright, you're now breaking YouTube's copyright.
We're breaking all the copyrights.
Clearly.
It's the only way to go.
I hope you're not making money at that.
Never.
If you are,
I make zero money.
US laws.
Zero money.
As long as you keep making zero money, you're good.
It is poverty.
Mm-hmm.
This damn little machine.
Well, I mean, you're rich off of this show, I'm sure.
And then here's the other thing with the Mac stuff. The needing the external dock, which was $259 to be able to.
I sent you one for like $60.
It was crap. That's why it was crap. This one has two of the DisplayPort.
They all have three display ports.
No, they don't all have three display ports.
The ones. Do you want me to bring up the freaking thing right now?
It's also, though, it's
I sent
running.
it to you 2 weeks ago.
Right. It was the one running the software, though. I didn't want to run the fucking software. I wanted to be able to go direct this machine. The DisplayPort or whatever it is.
No, there's no software. You just plug it in. Dude, I have one of these. It's plugged in right now.
Dude.
It's running 3 displays. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
There's
no software to install.
There's always software to install for everything.
No, not at all. You just plug it in and work.
But this has, the 2 monitor outputs. It's got the other thing, I wasn't going to pay an extra $100 for the 2.5 fucking gig Ethernet, because that just seemed like fucking you in the ass. And this was included on this one. So I kind of went, okay, I guess I kind of take $100 and, if I really want the 2.5 gig speeds, can plug it right in.
You could have had a $60 monitor output breakout thingy and then paid $100 to Apple to have built in 2.5 gig.
But then you wouldn't have had the other USB outs.
Not 2.5. You would have had 10 gig, not 2.5 gig.
I don't have anything that's 10 gig. So that would be a little overkill until I buy some kind of 10 gig gear, which probably won't happen anytime soon.
Sure sounds like a series of choices made by you to me that you're bitching about.
I'm going to send it all back before January 15th. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the thing. Like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Every little thing that you do.
Do it. I dare you. Get yourself a PC with one of those NVIDIA cards that finally lets you do AI.
I know. Well, that's what here's the thing I'm looking at as well.
All you need to do is get about $3,000 in donations between now and January 15th.
That's right. Donate, everybody. Donate big time. Donate bigly. Mm-hmm. Bigly, CSB. I'm talking to you. Donate bigly.
We don't need anything under $10.
Oh, and CSB with his $33.50. No, I need about 20 times that, CSB.
Yeah.
Howdy, Irish guy and Jew. Please tell your audience.
I just said we don't read anything under $10 and you take like 15 cents and read it.
I was taunting him, so I figured it was okay to tell our audience to visit his cartoons at www.csb.lol. Your friendly neighborhood Pollock
knows about those cartoons. Everybody goes there all the time anyway.
He's your friendly neighborhood Pollock. Now that's a jingle I want to hear. It's your friendly neighborhood Pollock, CSB.
Why don't you use Suno and make one?
He says Bitcoin is skyrocketing, so I'm sending hereby equivalent of $3.30. Corey, you know what else is skyrocketing?
Thank you.
You know what else is skyrocketing?
Prices.
Well, that too. Yes, everything you have to buy. Going to the moon. Cardano. I am finally even with Cardano again.
Wow, that's crazy. You know what else is skyrocketing? Tesla.
Yeah, well.
$352 right now.
Did you get a free Tesla yet?
That it's almost doubled since I bought it.
That's not a bad bit of
that was 3 months
manipulation
ago.
There. Well, Elon told you it was going to be good.
That's why I bought it, because Elon said it's going to be well over $1,000. So I'm like, okay, Elon, I'll buy it.
He's like, come on, buddy, you can do it. And then I'm like, well, looking for programs because I've been using DB Power Amp for my Windows Explorer, not Explorer, the Windows
music player.
No, the music player was another thing. Just when you pull up Explorer, not Windows Explorer, just Explorer, which they're both named the same thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But the music player, I'm like, where's my favorite Russian AIMP? Nothing for the Mac. Like, dudes.
No, you have Winamp. You can get a Winamp.
Oh, really? Because I thought I did a search for that.
No.
Because Winamp was like the original AIMP.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I need then. Because I'm like, I don't want to use VLC for this kind of stuff.
No, VLC sucks.
And there was one I did install via Homebrew.
You could always use iTunes.
Fuck that. I did get Audacious from through Homebrew, which seemed like it would be decent. I haven't even tried playing anything through it.
Through Homebrew?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it seems easier to install stuff that way.
It's okay. I mean,
I don't mind doing a little like just typey and
there's typey. What are you typing?
Get into the terminal. Where's the other thing?
What the hell are you using the terminal for? There's nothing you do that requires a terminal.
There is. I do stuff all the time that requires a terminal, including the YTDLP. No. Yeah. Terminal's where it's at, baby.
You're insane.
Terminal is where it's at.
You're borderline trans Linux at this point. So go off and romp in the woods with Ben.
Go in with the Linux machine. Ben knows good things.
Yeah.
And if although Mix, the program we're using to do this and that you can do the broadcast music, well, that is everywhere. That is Apple. That is Windows. That is Linux. Thank God for them. But there's
all the Adobe stuff is both.
Yes. Well, here's the other thing. Just because this was the main test that I wanted to do, which is, and I know what takes the long time because is the processing that we use to like all of the little, background noises or any of the reverb. It takes a long time for that to process because I did process a 2-hour podcast without that. And it was just a matter of minutes. Now, with all the processing, it was taking on my Windows machine about an hour.
Damn.
On the Mac Mini, about a half hour.
Damn. That's such horrible software, dude. There's nothing that should take that long.
Hey, I might agree with that. But that's irrelevant. The comparison is impressive that this little itty bitty box compared to a Dell, which was $2,000 at Costco, which was a decent price at the time 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
The fact that this thing's already twice as fast.
Like a $600 machine. Yeah. Twice as fast as the old 2000. Yeah. But I just think it's poorly written software because honestly, that Mac is capable of processing 4 to 6 concurrent 4K live streams running at the same time.
Right, but it's built for that. I mean, this stuff, I guess, is single core, and that's the, I think.
Clearly.
Now, if it was ever optimized, so it could do each channel on a different core, it would speed up exponentially. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Use all cores to do everything. That'd be even better.
Well, yeah, but that's not how it works.
That's exactly how it works. If you know what the fuck you're doing.
Move it around here, move this here. You got to do that. Hack it all in. But here was the other thing: the Apple tax. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'll pay. I want a little extra memory, but really $200 for 8 gig more. And
so that would have brought it up to $799.
Then $200 for the going from 256 to 512 on the internal storage.
Okay, so $999.
Well, you were close, like 8 or maybe 9, somewhere right. I thought it was 8 something on Amazon. Again, the Apple tax really doesn't even come in. I looked at their Magic keyboard now. $200 for a keyboard.
It's Magic.
It better be for $200. What does it do besides
get the link that I sent you to the $100 on sale keyboard that does literally everything you want and it glows in the dark?
I don't have to look. Was that the one you texted? There's been so much going on the last few days. Yeah. The keyboard for $200 and then the trackpad is like $179.
Yeah.
Which I think I'd like the trackpad. I do.
Oh, you bought it?
No, not yet.
Trackpad?
Not yet. But I think I'm going to because it's better than the mouse from.
No, not.
You don't know. See, you don't use the machine the same way. But by the time you add all the Apple features up and all of the accessories, it's like, woo, $8,000. You may as well just bought a Mac Pro, man.
Well, I did buy a Mac Pro for $10,000 a few years back. So, yeah.
My CPU is still sitting at 20%. I think I need at least the M4 Pro.
What a shitty computer. It's not even going to heat your house.
I mean, I'm going to need at least the Studio. Maybe the Studio with the Max or the Ultra is what we need.
Okay.
And that way, everything will be fine. It's going to be interesting to see.
Upgrade. I mean, I suppose.
See how all this audio works as we go forward. Because, I mean, again, I know I was just setting everything up, but it was
literally
kind of glitchy.
All the professional audio studios are running in these things.
Yeah, but I'm doing weird things by like moving stuff from one browser into a program
YouTube
that then
a stream.
Then streams it, and then it's also recording it. And the Apple's like, what do I do?
You could get around the whole illegality issue by just actually streaming on YouTube.
YouTube is a beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yo, you're fine now. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah, because you're all you're doing is you're basically playing back links to existing videos. So you're good to go.
It's a beautiful. Let's see, what other Apple problems were there? This is kind of like,
but you know what? I am winning. I got Ben running on the Mac now, and I got you running on the Mac. So for all your bitching,
it does, like I said, for the first 48 hours,
my Apple stock is safe for now.
You have to fight through wanting to just pick up the machine and throw it out a window because you're not used to doing the things the way.
Well, have you ever heard of the cave allegory?
The cave.
Yeah, the allegory of the cave. Yes, this is a Platonic thing about the people that live in the cave and they've never left the cave, and they see the shadows cast through the entrance of the cave, and they describe the outside world as being the things that they see. They see two-dimensional giraffes walking out there and two-dimensional zebras, and that's what they think the world is, until one day a man ventures outside of this cave and actually sees the world as it is in full color and in 3 dimensions.
Don't do it.
And he comes back and describes the real true world to these people, and they kill him because he is a heretic, and heretics should not live. Don't suffer a witch to live, as they say.
We are going to kill Gene.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will give Apple mega props for.
Dittos? Okay.
Mega dittos, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They do not require you sign into a goddamn Apple account for the computer to work.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And it's like, whoa! Way different from Microsoft's. Hey, have you signed into your Windows account? Hey, have you signed into your Windows account? Hey, would you sign into your Windows account?
Because, I bought my Windows laptop recently, a few months back. And that unfortunately came with Windows 11 because everything else I run Windows 10 on. And yeah, I think you're right. I don't think Windows 11 can really do anything until you sign in, because it's got to update everything from you signing in. And they keep telling you it's free. Don't worry about it. Just use,
we're just tracking you.
Yeah. Don't worry. But it's all for your benefit. Your computer is going to take screenshots of everything you do every 5 seconds.
Right.
So that you can then be reminded of the things that you did every 5 seconds. And we're not even going to charge you for this feature that we're adding. And of course, we're going to store that safely for you and not use it for anything at all, except for advertising.
Well, I mean, the benefit for them is they got a really good deal on where they're storing all this data. It's CIA, INC, FBI.
It's NSA actually, but yeah.
Yeah. Like, well, that's no problem. We will just take a screenshot of everything you're doing on your computer and store it.
And the camera light and the microphone being on all the time, that's a security measure to ensure that only you are in front of your computer. Because if it's not you, then we need to make sure we mark the things that are happening on your computer as not being you. So really, the fact that the camera's on and mic's on and we're taking screenshots every 5 seconds, these are all for your benefit.
This is also the first machine, and I know it's available on Windows, but it's the first time I've ever encrypted the drive out of the box. So,
oh yeah, it's totally worth it.
Oh yeah, because if anybody steals your machine, it's like, well, they can't get any of your data, even if they walk away with it, which is a beautiful thing. But it does take, it takes a little time, and it's always a pain in the ass, even moving from one Windows machine to another, because it's like, well, what was I using? Oh, I have to install this software now. Oh, now I find
it's a good opportunity to
purge.
Minimize.
Of course, it's the anti-purge now that I'm moving over to a complete new operating system, because I think I downloaded like 3 or 4 Explorer type programs to try them out. Oh, it's easier to delete programs off these things. In the morning, Net, he just got to the troll room. We do the shows live on Fridays. Troll room, we just borrow it from that No Agenda show. Just go to noagenda.stream. You'll find it. But,
and somebody was kind of chastising you last time for not having your own channel.
Right. We can barely run audio. This is the all Mac mini edition of the Unrelenting show.
That's right.
Broadcasting, recording. And it will take me at least a week or two to make a final decision. But I think the main
thing. Did you get a new monitor for this or not?
No, I'm running on the same 3 monitors, because that would have also like blown up the price, which again, that's the beauty of being able to step this up little by little if I want to. But it's
I gotta imagine that if you bought a $260 dock, which you shouldn't have, but if you did, then it's got the most current latest Thunderbolt on it as well.
I would have to look it up. I thought it was Thunderbolt 4, but I know they just popped with the 5.
5, yeah. That still has 4. Okay.
But the Thunderbolt, I mean, that was the other thing with moving up to the next level, moving up to the M4 Pro. You got that Thunderbolt 5, man. Don't you know it's 5? It has to be better than 4 because it says 5.
That's right.
Let's see here. The dock was a pluggable 16-in-1. And I bought 2 of the USB converters to C, and I probably should order like 1,000 more of those. Because you can never have enough of those.
Okay. Sure.
It has the micro SD card on it. It's got 10 gigabit per second USB 2.0 with charging. Don't know why you'd want that. Audio in, out, so you can do audio through it. And on the other side, it's 2 10 gigabit USB, 2 5 gigabit USB, USB-C with power, Ethernet 2.5 gig, and then you can technically plug in 4 displays, but only 2 are going to work on Mac. And that is the 2 display ports that I'm using.
Display ports?
Yeah, they're just going from the display port connector from that to the display port input on the monitors. Display port.
Because you should have a USB-C 3.1 display connectivity there. So I guess that dock doesn't have that?
I don't have anything that would plug into that.
Yeah, but you can get a converter from that to HDMI or whatever normal crap you want to use.
This has 2 display ports and 2 HDMIs.
Oh, it does have 2 HDMIs, but yes. Did it only run 2 monitors?
Because of right out of the box with Apple. Now, if you want to use other software, maybe, but right out of the box, this thing will only run 3 displays total.
So the built-in one and 2 external.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, that's correct.
Now, with Windows, I guess Windows, you can actually use the HDMI and the display ports and run 4 monitors off this device. Not anything I would ever want to do, although you might.
You could if your video card does it. Like my video card on the PC supports 4 monitors.
Big
so you
bad.
could do it that way.
Right.
But if you're using built-in video on the PC, no.
But so far, this thing's working, which I was surprised, just right out of the box.
Mhm.
Boom. And after I didn't even know that the USB ports were different speeds, I need to make sure that I've got the, because then, of course, I have a whole USB run that has like 20 inputs on it plugged into one of those for all those external drives. It's the beauty of these things.
So none of your stuff is USB-C?
The monitors, no.
No. Drives?
No, they're all old.
Okay.
Now, I will be buying an enclosure, I'm sure, with another M2 drive or whatever is the fastest to add external fast storage to this machine.
I've been buying these M2 enclosures for about $50 on Amazon. They're really good. They're just USB-C to M2.
Which would be the ultimate for speed, yes.
Yeah. And that if you wanted to, I mean, that's quite a bit of money right now, but there's a couple of manufacturers that make M2 what do you call them?
NAS systems.
Oh, vitamin B. Yes.
NAS exactly. Systems. Oh, yeah.
Good call. I'm glad you're still able to read my mind.
Yes. Even
as I take my vitamin B pill.
I saw that somebody had come out with a thing like the size of a shoebox.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep.
It was like $75,000, but the amount of storage this thing had in it was like.
You're talking about the one that Linus had?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, this one is cheaper. I saw Ben and I were both thinking about getting them, but it's about the size of a shoebox. But it's I think 7 drives or 9 drives that you can put in there. I think they actually have 2 versions. One is like 4 and one is like 7 or 9. And it uses very little power. It's super fast. It's got a 10 gig Ethernet. And I want to say it was $7.99.
It's like that's cool.
Obviously, you'd have to put your own drives in.
Like there's a TerraMaster on the Amazon.
And I've seen 8 terabytes M2s now.
This is a 8-bay all SSD NAS server. Although it's SSD, I don't think that's the M2 NASs.
Does it say M2 or just say SSD?
It just says but there are. I'm looking here. It's install SSDs or expand RAM in 2 minutes, and it looks like they're the SSDs going in. So,
okay,
just load it up, all the little drives you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the learning curve on all of it. Net says, and Synology makes a M2 NAS. More and more people are.
I've got a Synology. What is mine? Like 12 drive one.
See, now that's overkill. I need that though.
Not. Yeah, it's overkill. I need that.
I know.
Well, because years ago.
I've got 3, 4, or 5 bay NASs, and the one has 2 external 4s plugged into that.
Okay. A Synology or something else?
That one's a QNAP. I do have one Synology, which is a 4, and one old Western Digital, which is still chicking along, man. Clicking along. It's all the tech gear you need. That's why you got to boost this show bigly. All the tech gear costs
I'm going to go look at the Synology right now.
So much money.
Because I also have a Synology wireless thingy.
More B12, Gene. It's what's the wireless thingy thing?
A hub.
The hub, yeah.
Yeah.
It does everything.
It's good. It runs, the reason I got it is because it just runs the same software. So it's easy to, like, if you have one Synology product, you know how to run them all.
I was surprised at the ease of transferring Thunderbird, the email client. So I installed that on the Mac.
Oh my God. Do you still use an email client?
Dude, I've got, you know how many domains I have? And it's like, it's just easier.
You should just use Apple Mail.
No.
It's actually better.
It's old. Everything's better with Apple's on it. That's what Gene. He is not a paid, believe it or not a paid spokesman for Apple. Or are you? Do we need to disclose this? Is that your new gig, Apple Evangelist? You've been meaning to.
Apple Evangelist, yes.
If you can move enough
I've always
machines.
been an Apple Evangelist. I've always liked them.
But
my first computer was an Apple.
Mine was a TRS-80 color computer, but my second computer was an Apple IIe.
Mm-hmm. Mine was a Mac Plus.
Or was it an Apple IIe Plus? Was there an Apple IIe Plus? I think there was. They like the
2Es were around for a long time. Then there was a 2C. There may have been a 2E Plus. I don't know.
Might have been. But all you had to do at that point, once you installed it, was find the profile folder and copy that, and boom, it's just like it was always on this machine. I still have to get used to the what means closed and what means exit and what means still open, and if any of that really makes a difference with the way the Apple system works. And I have to, the main thing for wanting the other keyboard is I can't get used to the fact that the Windows key is now Command.
Oh, yeah.
Or not Control, Command. So it's like, what?
Well, it's not, no, the Windows key is the Option key. The Control is Control and the Alt is Command.
It's so confusing.
But Command is what you use instead of Control in the PC, so even though it's in a different place.
Right.
And it's really easy. You just get used to both of them.
Well, here was the thing. Because the beautiful thing of being able to have your old machine remote desktop into was if there were things like when I was setting up to stream this live, well, I was just cutting and pasting the settings from Mix on the Windows machine into here. But of course, when you're in the Windows window, well, then you need to hit Control. So you hit Control C in there, but then you get out and you're like, you want to hit Control V, and it's like, why the fuck isn't this working? Oh yeah, I gotta go to
Command V.
Right. Completely different.
Which again, you realize this is the original.
Yeah, I get it.
Is that when Microsoft did it, they didn't want to get sued, so they moved it to be Control V.
Right now on my system, and the CPU percentages don't really make sense the way that the activity monitor shows it, because it's not really, because it shows like Adobe Audition 81.6. Now I'm assuming that is of the single core that it's using, because otherwise idle is 82% for the machine.
Yeah.
Now if that gets to the point where that's overtaxing the one core, do you have
that's not how it works, dude.
It's a different thing.
It's all dynamically allocated. So there is software that is poorly written and uses only one core exists, but any real commercial product is going to be using all the cores, and it's going to be up to the operating system to decide how to balance that. Does it share all cores with all other products? Does it want to just give it one core to use if it's really low usage? And there's also two types of cores on that chip. So it's going to balance out whatever it thinks is the appropriate core for the appropriate action that the machine or the software is taking. So,
but for what I'm doing right now, which is a very basic thing that I do, it is using 17 gig of memory, which the base system only comes with 16. I upped it to 24. That doesn't seem like a lot of headway.
It's
or headroom.
Well, let me look here. What am I using? I am using, so the one I've got is 16 and it's using 27%. And the CPU is sitting at right around 86% idle, so 14% usage.
Gene's Mac Mini is an M2.
Yeah.
And then I like the energy, the amount of power.
And yours is an M4.
Yes. Oh, it's so quick, man. A 12-hour power, man.
I think it's 3 times faster than mine, if I remember their charts.
Well, that's amazing when they base it upon what their older machines have done. Like,
yeah,
Bandrew, our buddy, bought the M2 Studio. So I don't know.
The Studio, yeah.
It was fancy.
The fat version of the chip.
You know, because I know that was like the Max and the Ultra, they call these things, right? Mm-hmm. So it was one of those, but I believe the base like M4 is just as fast as like what the M2 super duper.
Hey, why don't you reach out to Pandro and he'll tell you how to use a Mac.
I did. I'm like, what software do I need? He's like, the Rogue Amoeba. And
no, you don't need Rogue Amoeba. Jesus Christ.
Dude, Rogue Amoeba does everything. Mm-hmm. Not sponsored by Rogue Amoeba.
Especially not Rogue Amoeba. Rogue Amoeba. It's the best pasta you can buy. Rogue Amoeba pasta.
Actually, we are sponsored by that. That's it. It's our Rogue Amoeba brand. How you doing, everybody? Yeah. That's the.
I've got it. I've got that product. It's just not necessary right now, so I don't use it.
Bytes written. Brave browser more than
the other thing
else.
I recommend you get if you want to see more details of things and stuff.
I like things and stuff.
I know, right? So it is what is this thing called? It's called iStat menus. iStat menus. And I've had it forever, probably 15 years. And it basically shows in the menu bar, especially on the big monitor where you got plenty of menu bar space, it shows you all kinds of, you can select what stats you want: memory, CPU, GPU, disk drives, network, all the sensors, if it's a laptop, battery power, shows you all that stuff so you can see the little things moving up and down and back and forth.
Well, that's the beauty too of the Stream Deck. Having the only thing I've seen though is the CPU as far as
dude, my new keyboard shows the CPU and GPU usage. It's awesome.
Oh, wow. iStat Menus is available. It's a subscription service for Mac apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
$9.99 a month.
Yeah, when I bought it, it was like $50 for a lifetime.
I see. So what you're saying is, here's the one thing.
It's well worth it.
Well, I will also mention for anybody interested, just from an educational standpoint, not from a, from a very rhetorical standpoint, piracy seems way easier on the Mac. Seems way easier. Seems like there's way less issues.
I just don't think people really care
about piracy
on the Mac.
Oh, there's a thriving community.
Oh, I'm sure there is a thriving community of college students and people in their late 40s. And yeah, I'm sure there is.
And just for fun, I did it because I have like way too many on my subscription with Bitdefender. I did install that on the Mac too, just for fun.
Don't need it.
I know. You know, you're going to say that you don't need it. But I'm just intrigued by it.
Mm-hmm.
Want to throw everything I can at this machine. See if we can break it.
Actually, since you're going to be running all kinds of pirated shit and going to pirate websites, maybe you do need it.
See, it's like, there you go. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be taking up any. That's the other, not really, I guess, interesting thing, but where Bitdefender was always, when you looked at the process monitors on the Windows machine, man, that was always doing something. On the Mac, it's like, where is it? It's just sitting there somewhere in the back, like, I don't got much to do.
Yeah, you're not running Kaspersky security?
No, I did. Oh. I did at one point. Then the Russians became bad. It was.
That's right. The Russians bad. That's right. I forgot.
I'm sorry. It wasn't Kaspersky. There was back in the day. I was running Nod 32, and I built a new machine. And immediately after installing Nod 32, it blue screened. And of course, I went through the usual, like double checking everything else because it was a brand new machine. So there could be a lot of reasons to blue screen. Like, is it the CPU? Is it the memory? Is it the motherboard? No. Just switched to Bitdefender, I think it was, and everything was then fine. So never went back to Nod. I don't know if I've ever used Kaspersky. Maybe like way, way, way back in the day. Before it was really probably needed. But now, no, it's Bitdefender. And Bitdefender has worked really well over a variety of things. I will say the one other thing, here's a question for everybody too. How do I get the clock which shows on the Apple taskbar to show seconds?
Very easily. You need to buy this product called iStat Menu. It shows you seconds in the clock.
Very easily. This is the Apple thing for everything. How do you make it do this? Oh, very easily. Just buy a new program.
It literally, I can send you a screenshot. It's got seconds.
But why
you can also move it.
Why is everything buy a new program? I mean, Apple's got the widgets.
Oh my God.
Digital
Why
clocks.
is the world all about trading money for things you need? Who invented capitalism? Fuck that shit. Let's all be communists.
Why isn't it just built into the system?
Let's get stuff for free that somebody else does and then we don't pay for it. Good idea.
The Apple widget wants to show me the seconds as like an old watch with the little ticks going around. And it's like, my eyes suck. I want something nice and easy. And for most people, it's like, why do you care?
A Apple Vision Professional kit.
You got to do something to.
It
I need a.
It makes everything on the screen bigger.
Yeah, that's it. But it's not going to show me any more of the. The update was installed. Good, that's good. Update it. For most people, the seconds don't matter, but when you're running on a stream, baby, and you got a hand off it right at the top of the hour.
Technically speaking. And I don't know if you can see this because, Stream Deck buttons are not very big. I have those on my Stream Deck. I have the clocks with the seconds. I have 4 different clock related things on the Stream Deck.
Is there a digital one with seconds?
Yes. There's an analog one with seconds, and it also has digital mode. Same one does digital mode. And then I have UTC time, which I use for everything. I'm a big UTC guy. And then I have 2 timers that are push button timers that I use quite regularly for calculating things like profit from a particular mineral mining expedition in the video game and things like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what made me want to also blow my head off? Starting one of your videos talking about mining for plutonium or platinum or something.
Right. What was wrong with that?
I'm just like, what the fuck is this all about? NetNet said the funny thing is, starting with Windows 11, it says that showing seconds takes more power on Windows. I'm like, his question is, how the fuck does that really take more power? It is a very valid question. I mean, I guess it's technically changing pixels, but how much power is that taking?
Yeah, negligible.
But they're going to be like, well, this is why we're removing this from the...
It's probably more to do with the fact that Windows just estimates everything. And if you want seconds, it's going to have to do the actual math rather than estimating.
And they don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, it takes power.
Bill Gates is always mining for Bitcoin on your PC. Billy
I'm
Bones.
sure he is.
He's like, I got a
How
lot
do
of
you think
Bitcoin.
he got rich? He'd been mining Bitcoin since the 70s.
This is the ultimate bot system. All of your computers, Bill Gates is like,
you do have to wonder, because on the Mac, you will see things like 86% idle regularly.
Yeah.
I've never seen that on the PC. My PC could be doing literally nothing, and it's using like 65% of its resources.
I also like on the Mac, that's one thing they do well. One of the things was a program called Lulu, but there's also ones like called Little Snitch. I mean, not just if you're doing things that may be illegal, but it monitors, and any time an app tries to access the internet, it's like, do you really want this?
Yeah, it's like a manual firewall. It's so annoying.
It could be, but for some things, maybe.
Let's put it this way. If it doesn't bother you all the fucking time, you don't need it, period. If it is bothering you all the time and you actually need it, it's annoying as hell.
Don't do illegal things.
2 options.
Yeah, do not do illegal things on your computer so the NSA does not want to take a look at you. But what other software? What do I need? I mean, if you're on a Mac, what is like the main thing? You're like, you got to have this. Besides iStat menus.
Edge browser.
You really want the Edge browser, huh?
Yeah, it's the best browser out there right now.
Why is it better than
It's
Brave?
got great anti advertising crap in it.
So does Brave.
It blocks all the ads.
Is it better than Brave, you think?
Way better than Brave. And I've got Brave installed. I have all three browsers installed, but Edge does a better job.
There are more than
one of its
browsers.
Best features, for all those websites that say, "Oh, you should subscribe to us and pay us money because we're a real news organization."
Right, which they're not.
Shouldn't be here for free.
Right.
It takes care of all that crap, gets rid of it.
I mean, it just shows you what you want to see, or
it just shows you what you want to see.
Nice.
It has the best voice. So for blind people, so you can listen to a website in a ton of different tones. I prefer Natasha speaking to me.
Of course, sounds very Russian.
Ukrainian, actually.
Oh,
but it's a very good browser. I mean, I don't know who Microsoft hired. Microsoft doesn't have their own products anymore. They hire different developing companies to develop for them. As I'm sure you heard about Microsoft Flight Sim and
what happened with Flight Sim?
Failure of that launch that happened.
No,
it just released.
Really?
It just now, just a few days ago. And so they apparently, two things. One, unlike the previous version, it has to be connected to the network to work because it's downloading all the visuals as you're flying around. Like it doesn't actually come with everything pre-installed the way it used to.
And they sell this to you like it'll use less disk space. Come on.
It does actually use less disk space.
Well, I would hope if it's downloading all this stuff as you need it.
Right. But I mean, I would imagine it uses a lot more energy because you're having to download the same thing for millions of people all the time.
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and then I got a Tesla joke after this, and it's got. It was launched, and people found that they could run the program, but they couldn't. The program couldn't connect to the server because the servers couldn't handle the load. Because there was millions of people trying to connect, and apparently they had only stress tested it with 20,000 concurrent connections.
Oops.
For probably one of the largest franchises of Microsoft products, Microsoft games for sure, in history, they decided that, we won't have more than 20,000 people wanting to play this on day one, will we?
Yes.
It's craziness. A lot of people are complaining about that right now.
That I can see.
Mm-hmm. I am actually holding off on that product because I remember the last time Microsoft Flight Sim came out, and it's always better just to wait a few months. So maybe next year.
NetNed says he is somebody that recommends Alfred on the Mac. It's an award-winning app which boosts your efficiency with hotkeys, keywords, text expansion, and more.
This sounds like one of those spyware apps that monitors all your keystrokes. I wouldn't go there.
That's why we like them. I always ran auto hotkey on my machine, but that was
okay.
But that was also something that does not have a Mac. Although this may be it. I didn't really look for the alternate thing here. But let's see. I guess we'll go with the Edge browser just because I want to see how much better it is.
I think it's way better.
I mean, if Gene recommends it, he wants a Microsoft he loves the Apple machine, but he wants a Microsoft product.
Yeah, dude. It's because I run everything. I have Apple, I have Android, I have Windows, and I make the best use of all these products. I just don't do Translinux. That's all.
Do I want to help Microsoft improve their products by sending Optimal?
No, hell no. Let somebody else help them.
Like, no, thank you very much. Your download will begin shortly. It hasn't yet.
Now, once you install it, of course, it's going to have to kill all the other browsers, but don't worry about that. That's all fine.
It's the mind control. We will take over everything. Throw that into downloads. Now I will have to go in and Microsoft Edge. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, and at some point it's going to ask you if you'd prefer to not see advertising.
Wait, it's going to try to sell me shit while it's installing?
No. It's going to ask you whether you want to enable the ad blocking by saying, well, would you prefer to not see advertising on websites?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I just installed it yesterday on one of my Android devices here.
And then put your password in. Writing files.
Yeah.
Nazi advertising. That's different. Net. Do you want Nazi advertising? No. Do you want to not?
Oh, that's only for German people. That's only for German people, dude. We don't have to worry about that in the U.S.
That is a feature. The software was now installed.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Edge. Do I want Edge help at? I need the
Can you
B12.
speak English? What?
Yes, the Edge helper. Do I want that to connect to the internet? Yeah, sure.
Oh, obviously.
I mean, sure. I'm gonna take my pills too. Let's see here. Oh, and of course, the other thing I like, since I use RoboForm for my password management, is it automatically is like, oh, you want to add this? Like, well, yes, I do. Do I want to sign in to sync data? No.
No, because you use RoboForm. If you were using the browser itself, you can sync data. And then I'd use that because it's convenient having my, look up a website on the iPhone and then walk over to the PC and be able to open that.
Oh, would you like personalized ads? No.
Yeah, there you go. No, definitely not. No personalized ads.
No, I do not.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want it as my default browser? No.
Yes.
No.
No. Yes, absolutely.
Do I want to import any data? No.
No.
Faster. Express yourself by customizing. Oh, yeah, I will. But not yet.
No.
There's the simultaneous sip.
Nice.
Of course, nobody else was doing it, so it really wasn't simultaneous.
No, I didn't take a sip of anything. What are you drinking?
Coffee, which I brought some coffee down an hour ago, and this is the first sip that I've had while I'm taking my metoprolol. No, kind of. It's in a Tervis, so it's still...
You're drinking metoprolol with coffee. That is so fucked up, dude.
While using a Mac Mini M4.
Is it decaf at least?
No. It's a Colombian roast, baby. Metoprolol.
I'm decaffeinating this week. I had coffee all last week, and I started getting headaches again. I'm like, I can't drink coffee anymore.
You just want to be, decaffed? I don't know. What's that feel like?
I don't like headaches. I don't want to get headaches, so I'm just not going to drink caffeinated coffee. And I have some decaf beans that I bought that are ready to be put in the espresso machine. So,
ooh, you ground your own. Okay, at least now we can quit Edge. We have Edge.
I have a machine, dude.
Well, you're fancy. I just buy the really cheap Meyer K-cups and drink my coffee that way.
No, I have a real Italian espresso machine.
I mean, you probably have a guy to come in and make it for you too, right?
No, I haven't made it for a while. I don't use it all that much. But I remember when I first got it, I got it when I moved to this house. And I remember after Adam Curry was over.
Oh, nice name dropping. You're like, Adam's my friend.
No. This is a story. Shortly after I moved here, I made him an espresso, and he was like, damn, this is really good. And then next time I came over to his house, he had one of these machines. So he bought the exact same machine that I had.
And he was like, Gene knows coffee.
Yeah, clearly used to, not these days.
And now he doesn't even drink it.
Smoke cigars, drink coffee, drink alcohol. Doesn't do any of those things anymore.
You're like, Gene was a lot more fun back in the day.
Oh, so much more fun.
You should have seen him on fucking Blow, man. He was.
It wasn't doing podcasts back then, that's for sure.
Well, that's because you would have been the Ben Shapiro of your day then, if you're like on Blow. I mean, that's the only reason I explained how you're talking really fast, right? You're going to get your ideas, right? You don't really know what you're saying. People are like, what are you saying? I don't know. He's talking really fast. You really don't know what to do.
Well, especially when you play them back at 150%.
Right. That really screws with the people. Hey, you can order a Taylor Swift Tortured Poets Society snow globe for only $50. That will probably go up because it's one thing.
Yeah, let's not.
For like 3 days. You know what she's selling? And I posted this on X, but you never.
No, I really don't.
You don't really follow me.
I follow I don't see many of your posts. They're not recommended to me.
There's a good reason for that.
Follow you.
There's a good reason for that. There is.
Do you have any video game posts?
No,
that's
I do
mostly
not.
what it's recommended to me.
Right. I do not. I'll have to put that into a video game.
Then I would probably get recommendations from you.
One of the new items, and this just shows you the capitalist bitch that Taylor Swift is, a candle, 8-ounce candle. So a small candle that, and I looked up similar things because I don't buy candles. On Amazon, you can buy these maybe $10 to $15. If you want to buy them wholesale, like, a few dozen at a time, like $5, $50 because it has her name put on the outside of the candle.
That's fucking crazy.
I know.
This is a cult, dude. This is not like music fans. This is literally a cult.
I mean, we need Unrelenting candles. If we can buy $5 candles and just put the Unrelenting sticker on it and be like $50, please. You need it smells like the interior of Gene's favorite spaceship.
Burnt bread?
Is that what the inside of your spaceship smells like?
That's what the inside of every spaceship smells like.
And Billy Bone says Tay-Tay is bigger than Elvis. And that may be true now. There was, I saw an article the other day.
She's managed to become bigger than a has-been drug addict. Congratulations.
Wow. I mean, Elvis still does millions of dollars a year for his estate. I know. Which probably if I use the usual things you want, the filtering, you won't even hear that. Which is why I have to stop using.
You got to wait half an hour just to not hear the slow clap.
Right. You don't want to hear the slow clap. But there was an article, and all these things are bullshit on the internet, but it was like things that are losing value. The first was obvious, stamps. I mean, unless you actually want to use them to send things in the mail, well, then you're fucked. But for like stamp collecting, nobody does that anymore.
No. Because you know what that means, though, is since nobody does that anymore, over time, they're going to get crazy valuable.
Right.
Because that always happens when nobody does something for a while.
It's like vinyl records. There was a point you could have bought everybody's collection for $5.
Yeah.
And then went,
that's like without a sale.
Yeah. Then it's like, now you can sell it for $1,000. But the other thing on there that was losing value was Beatles and Elvis memorabilia. Because,
yeah. It was always crap. I don't know why people bought it.
Well, again, it was something to collect. But again, why they buy it, who knows? But there's a market. But you're dying off. It's just like my dad loves him some Ted Williams. One of the greatest baseball players of all time, played for the Red Sox back in the day, was a pilot that went and lost a few years of his career going in to serve in the military. One of the greatest hitters of all time in baseball. But like you just said, who's that? There's way too many people now that never even heard the name. So if you're collecting stuff, it's like it's all going down. The concept that everything's going to get more expensive as it gets older is not true.
Well, things that no one wants don't get... Dude, this was evident with books. When I had tons of books. I had like 4 bookcases full of books. And every move, I always bitched about just how retarded it is moving books because they're heavy.
Yes, very inconvenient.
It's very convenient. And they charge more for movers when you have a lot of books. So when I decided to move to Austin, I said, I'm not going to bring any books. I'm going to get rid of all my books. And a lot of people are like, well, how can you do that? I was like, well, I've read them all. Okay. So these are all books that I've read, not books that I bought and haven't read. So I went to the book,
the used bookstore that's like, I'll give you 13 cents a book, sir.
That was a bit of a rude awakening. So I've got like, boxes that probably retail, what I paid for them are probably around $100 per box of books, at least, maybe a couple $100 depending, but somewhere between $100 and $200 a book. So they go, oh yeah. So let me see. Let me get you an estimate on these. And then I see the guy pick up the box, put it on a scale. And he says, all right, so this one's 26 pounds. So we'll give you, let's see, that'll be $6.24.
You're like, what? You're not going to even look at the titles, what they are?
No, they don't care about the titles. They're all going to get recycled. It doesn't matter. I mean, they'll look through them. If anything jumps out at them as being worthwhile, they'll save it and try and sell it. But generally, all the books that they buy, most of the books they buy are going to go to the recycling plant.
Oh,
so they're basically just going to make a few cents per box on recycling them.
Oh, sir, you have an autographed first edition of Harry Potter. We'll give you $1 for that one. That's
exactly, because it's not worth any more than that. So
dude, hey, a signed first edition of Harry Potter would be thousands of dollars.
Only to crazy people like you.
Well, I'm not me, because I've never read it. But I know there are people who are.
Not you then. Yeah. But anyway, my point is, so I felt really bad, but I was like, well, I kind of promised myself I wasn't going to move these. So I had to schlep 4 bookcases worth of books in boxes there. And after getting probably a grand total of about $100 off these books, I had about six crates of books left. And, I was too tired to do that thing. So I came over the next day, which was a weekend, and there's a line of like 5 people all wanting to get rid of their books.
Oh, yeah.
And now I have to wait in line to get my $6 per box of books, if that.
Hey.
So I just finally said, you know what? I'm going to donate these last 6 to you guys. Congratulations. I just walked out of the store before they could tell me I can't donate them.
Right. Well, you can take them.
Got the hell out of there.
Take them to a school, or if anybody could use them.
Nobody wants books. Nobody.
Books are no
nobody
good. No
wants
bueno.
books.
No bueno. But really, if you're
nobody wants physical books.
If you
know what they are, they're problematic because they show,
because they have the truth.
That's right. They show what actually happened, and we don't like that. We like to be able to use Wikipedia. The biggest benefit of Wikipedia is it can be modified as time passes to reflect the truth of the past in a way that's convenient for today.
I will say, if you're ever in a used bookstore and you see somebody walking in with a big box like Gene's talking about, if you want some entertainment, just stick around where they're looking at them and telling them what they'll give them. Because usually the look on their face is like, what? That's all? Got to be worth more than that.
Yeah, no, they're really not. And I was glad that I donated all my sci-fi books to a friend that took them. And then he said that if, either he was going to keep them or he was going to give them to a library or something. And because I got rid of probably a couple of hundred books that way. But most of the books that I had that I kept bringing with me and finally got rid of it before I moved here, most of them were nonfiction stuff. And so,
well, there's very few books that are collectible and worth money. And I think for most people that actually read, which I know that's still a fairly small number.
Most people don't know how to read anymore.
For the ones that do, though, I think a lot have gone to the e-readers, whether it's the Kindle or whatever other brands there are.
Yeah. I mean, there's, and I know I'm generalizing here, but I think the trend is very much this, that people don't read fiction anymore. The only fiction that is still being sold and made money on is the women's romance novels.
Oh, yeah, because they're coming out every week.
Because that's pornography.
Oh,
and so that still makes money. What?
I'm just doing the porno noise.
Oh, yeah, the porno.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are still being published, but really most people they read on the internet if they read at all. And the number of people that actually want to take the time to read a book is a fraction of what it was 30 years ago. It's a tiny number because the internet was not an alternative to reading for your time back then. Now it is. But I will say that of the Zoomers, many of them just don't read, period. They will either listen to audiobooks if they have to, or they'll look at memes, but they won't actually read something that's, oh my God, 200 pages. Who has time to read that? That's crazy. You're crazy, man. So I think the days of books are coming to an end. I think we're at a saturation point with written words.
We are the Idiocracy Society.
Oh yeah. That's a nonfiction film. Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Things that happen when the planet goes the way it is. Education, man.
Well, and especially with AI, you just literally never need to read ever again. You can just ask AI for everything.
And
AI,
you're not wrong.
What is Tom Sawyer?
You are not wrong. Well, beyond that, it is correct more than not. I should send you the transcript of me setting up my Mac. You don't think I was going to ChatGPT every time? Like, how do I do this? And then it spits out the answer.
God. The wrong answer, clearly.
No. It
shouldn't be telling you to use any amoebas on your Mac.
No, that was Bandrew. He's not an AI.
What do you think? Bandrew actually replies to you? No,
Yes.
He punches your question into the AI and has that spit it out.
That would be great. That's the best way to go about it. A lot of people don't even know this. We are both AIs. Now that the Mac Minis have Apple AI built right in, Apple Intelligence, we don't even need to do the podcast anymore. The devices will just do the podcast.
They will.
But you still need to boost. You still need to boost. You still need to boost. I can't believe only CSB has boosted for this fine podcast.
Oh, I believe it. Boosting requires the ability to read, and people don't have that anymore.
And I don't believe anybody. Let me double check. I'll go into Thunderbird. And I will say one other thing Apple does better, moving between monitors, especially since I have different sized monitors, is resizing the app to fit way more intuitive than the Windows machines are.
Yeah. So I just asked Grok 2, what do I need to know to prove that I read Huckleberry Finn? And it tells me, to prove that you've read Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, here are some key elements you should be familiar with. Characters. Huck Finn, the protagonist, the boy who lives a life of freedom and adventure. Jim, a runaway slave who becomes Huck's friend and companion on the river. Tom Sawyer, Huck's friend, blah, 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 blah. And then plot. Setting. Story set along the Mississippi River before the Civil War. Huck fakes his own death to escape from his father and sets off on a raft with Jim, who's escaping slavery. So they're both escaping. Themes of freedom, themes of moral growth, racism, slavery, key events, raft journey, the Duke and the Dauphin schemes, Jim's capture, the Phelps farm. So literally, it's a one-page summary of Huck Finn that tells you everything you need to know. Why would you read?
Welcome to Unrelenting, where Gene reads Cliff's Notes. And people are like, what are Cliff's Notes?
You can't use the word Cliff's Notes. That is trademarked. I'm using Grok 2, not Cliff's Notes.
The last payment received for Unrelenting was 11/1. So no, that's been a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, people, your crypto is going way, way, way up. Share a little. Come on.
Well, crypto's going up. No one's going to send crypto now that it's actually worth something.
Right? This is the catch-22 on the whole that whole ordeal, as well as the. We talked about this not on a show. I mean, Gene and I do shows all the time without doing shows. You
mean on the private episode we did?
Right. The Get Albie thing going away is going to be very inconvenient for the podcasters who make a lot of money on the streaming Satoshis. Oh, you have to run your own node. Okay, I'm an asshole that does, but most people are not going to want to do that.
So I asked Grok, how would a podcast like Unrelenting get more money, more donations?
Did it say go to YouTube?
It says monetization platforms such as Patreon. Use platforms like Patreon where listeners can become monthly patrons. PayPal, Ko-fi, and Buy Me a Coffee all implement donation buttons where you can directly on your website where you can contribute to the podcast. Value proposition. Exclusive content, providing exclusive episodes, early access to content, or special episodes only for donors.
Oh, the stuff that the Podfather hates.
Yeah, literally word for word, everything he says.
And that's suggesting if you want to make some money, hide some content. But that doesn't really work.
Gamification of donations, interactive elements. Don't see, he likes this. Some platforms allow for donations to trigger sound effects or messages during live stream.
Yes.
As noted in Unrelenting show itself, which can make the act of donating fun and interactive.
Yes.
Look at that. It actually told us what's in our show.
Pew, pew.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah. It's grok, baby.
Audience incentives. Offer shout-outs on the podcast, personalized thank you notes, or even having donors' names in episode credits.
Better yet, how about offer not to shout them out in the episode?
Well, that would be better, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want us to mention you, Tom Tomsky.
Simplify the donation process, ensuring the donation is straightforward with clear instructions. Platforms that are user-friendly and secure to avoid determining of potential donors, such as PayPal, due to complexity and security of other platforms.
I think a lot of people just do not donate to this show because they don't like Russians.
They don't like it. I think they just, well, I don't know about Russians, but I think that people that listen to this show are a very particular type of listener.
Let's see. Tom Tomsky, Ice Cube Soup, Waythorn, Net Ned. What do these people have in common? No Agenda Millennial.
Oh, they all hate Russians. I know.
Billy Bones. Yeah, well, those all do. So I guess that part is.
Yeah, okay. You're right. That's what it is.
That part seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
The monetizing, though, it was moving in the right direction, I thought, with the Satoshis. Maybe they'll figure something else out, but this is a hit.
I've talked to you about this before, like on the private episodes, but I always thought that the idea of having a built-in mechanism with podcasts that allows you to make donations based on the time listened was a very good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't think the execution was particularly good.
And they could be pivoted, if you will. I mean, the Satoshis are still a great way to do it. I don't know.
To
People
me,
should
it always
never
seems
hear
like
Satoshi.
They shouldn't. No, what I thought would be an easier way, or a way that makes obvious sense to people to do it. And I know I'm kind of, of the show that follows this show, I'm going the opposite direction here. But again, I'm not saying the idea of having time donation is bad. That's a great idea. I just think the app should make it somewhat like obfuscated, so you don't have to interact with it. It just says, hey, this show called, I don't know, Unrelenting.
That's a good show.
Would you like, what dollar amount per hour listened do you feel like you'd like to make a donation? What would be an appropriate? And so let's say somebody says, it's $1 an hour. Great. The podcast app tracks over the course of 1 month how many total hours you've listened to that show. And then it sends that information either by popping it up on its own screen, or if you've set up a recurring payment system, to PayPal, and says, hey, send these guys $3.26. Yes, PayPal takes a cut of that, but that cut is not that big. It is like 7% or something.
Well, it's way less than
YouTube takes, which is 30%, or Twitch, which they take 40%. So by comparison, PayPal is very good. And you could say, well, yes, but Satoshis take no cut. Well, they take a little bit of a cut.
It's a smaller,
but it's a very small cut. But also,
do both.
It's a pain in the ass for users.
Right. But for those that want to use it, you can offer it as an option within the same.
And it's also a pain in the ass for non-users. It's just a general pain in the ass for everybody, because you have to go through all these extra steps. You have to refill your sats from using some service.
Well,
which
other people
takes a
send
cut,
them to me, so,
and a bigger cut, incidentally, than what PayPal takes. Like, it literally costs you more to buy
Bitcoin.
Well, not Bitcoin, Satoshis. No, well, you could get Bitcoin cheaper. You can't. You can get Bitcoin cheaper. Well, you can get Satoshis direct Yeah, you can do it. But all those things have bigger cuts that are subtracted out than what PayPal does just for sending US dollars. Like the argument that Satoshis are cheaper is an invalid argument.
Well, what you need is a way that somebody can install an app that has the wallet that is not any other thing that's like, oh, you have to totally mirror the blockchain and do all this other stuff. And it always has to be running. And
I think the idea that, well, yeah, but the Satoshis are being sent literally like every second, which is why you can't do it with PayPal.
And you got to be up.
It has to be. Yeah, but you never have had to do it. I've literally had this conversation with the guys after they started Podcasting 2.0 on their, what do you call it? Their board chat thing. What
the show Podcasting 2.0 is what it's called.
No, I know. But no, what's the thing we all used to be on that nobody's on anymore because it doesn't matter? It's like Twitch or like Twitter. What am I thinking of?
Oh, yeah, the Fediverse.
Fediverse. Yeah, that thing. Like that.
Come on, it's like Star Trek. Come on, Fediverse.
That is so like COVID era at this point. So on that thing, on the Fediverse, on their platform, I told them this. Look,
on the Fed.
I don't think that there's a huge need from a listener standpoint to be sending things continuously every few seconds, a fraction of a cent at a time. All you got to do is just track that in the app. If you like a podcast app, there's no reason that you can't just say, okay, podcast app either gets authenticated with PayPal or you do a one-time $20 transfer from your PayPal to this app's PayPal. And then the app once a month, after tracking all the amount of time you've listened to each show, just sends that. And the address where to send that, literally your PayPal email address, can be embedded in the RSS feed. Like this is all doable with today's technology right now.
Well, it is, but I think a big part of the Podcasting 2.0 thing isn't about the money, obviously, because people can do, and they do, like 1 Satoshi a minute, which is, you're going to have to listen to a lot of bullshit.
And I've had those conversations too.
But the reality is people want the data.
The network more than you're putting in.
Right, but you're getting the data. The podcaster is getting the data as far as you can see when somebody stops listening because you have all of that information. So I think this was more about data. I mean, great. It's nice that you're getting funds in as well, but you're seeing when people are listening, you know, when they're tuning out. I think you can tell if they're listening to the same section over and over again, you know, all this kind of stuff, if you're looking for that kind of data. But it's nicer just to get in on a monthly thing for the shows that you listen to. I mean, the portion that people argue there is that, well, then what if I stop listening? Well, that's where the whole thing kicking in, only if you listen, although I think that would be easy as well. You know, okay, if I want to do $2 an episode.
But you don't need to do it per episode. If you want to do it by the time, it's really easy. So, okay, I had lots of time last 2 weeks. This week, I have no time to listen to anything, and therefore I don't pay anything for this week. And so the total amount set at the end of the month, it'll be for 3 weeks, not 4 weeks, because I skipped the week because I was too busy, and it's all automatic and I don't have to think about it, versus just a flat payment per week or per month or per episode. Because
and then the troll room, fucking Waythorn. Oh, what's on the live stream right now? Why are you in the fucking troll room? Get out.
What's on the live stream? Who said that?
It's Waythorn.
I don't know what that is.
It's a guy, I guess. I mean, I don't know, gal, something. It's an entity in the troll room.
Okay. Well,
Bevero says this conversation is when people are tuning out. And now Waythorn's doing and now playing. This is Unrelenting. Are you not listening to the show? Is it live? Well, okay, obviously you're not fucking listening, because then you would know it's live because we're fucking talking about you, Waythorn.
It's probably delayed, you know.
No, it's like 5 seconds. What do you think delays are? Do you think we're bouncing this up to Starlink?
Probably. You think we're not?
It's just what Elon does.
Likely scenario.
Everybody in the troll room, tell Waythorn to fuck off. Come on, how many? If you can all do it at once, he'll be really scared.
My God.
Everybody be like, Waythorn, fuck off.
This is so ridiculous. It's like the troll room to begin with is already more crazy people than Reddit. And now you're telling these crazy people that, hey, there's a guy who's even crazier than you. You need to tell him to fuck.
Hey, we just do this show for ourselves. The fact that nobody does.
Well, I sure as hell do, because I don't make any money off of it. So yeah, it's definitely for myself.
Yeah, everybody wants to
chat.
Join.
It's my weekly chat with you.
They want to get on Blue Sky. Can you help them get on Blue Sky?
Yeah, I can send an invite to that. Just send me your email. I'll forward an invite.
See, he does have Blue Sky. So if you want kids, net, if you want, just let them.
CSB also has Blue Sky. You can ask him too.
Blue sky is shining on me. No, it's blue sky.
It's the liberal X.
Oh,
it's a good place to troll liberals.
I did see Mark Cuban. Who was he? Was he talking to? Was it? I want to think it was either Stephen King or Michael Moore. One of them.
Yeah, one of those. They're all the same.
But they're like, oh, this blue sky's just becoming a cesspool. And Mark Cuban's like, don't you want to actually converse with people who have different viewpoints than you? If not, then you're the fucking problem.
Blue Sky does not have people other than people like me who are there to troll conversing. It is just liberal Twitter. That's all Blue Sky is. That's
not a great selling point.
Yeah. Why do you think it's called Blue Sky?
Well, because it was the Twitter thing was all blue. And then I'm telling you, because the little bird flying through the sky, Jack Dorsey does not have a whole lot of good ideas. He had one. And then he was like, well, what do I call the new one then? Oh, I'll describe the little icon that was used for the other thing I gave up.
If you miss the FBI not having an office inside of X, then go to Blue Sky, because they do have an office inside of Blue Sky.
Well, that's if you need to get to the FBI quickly, that's the place you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Because they will monitor what you say and do and will ban you for it.
And do you have to give any personal identifying information?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Listener count 57. Wow, that's 57 more than I thought we had.
What's a listener?
KG, more B12.
I mean, as long as you're listening, I don't give a shit.
I'm here. You're here. Somehow it's a recording. Somehow it is streaming. Somehow this little computer.
We got you all. This is actually all pre-recorded. We got you.
Yeah, we don't even know Waythorn. Fuck him. Woo!
No. Waythorn is just Darren's alias. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
This concept of this little Apple thing being so crisp and clean. I got so many fucking wires coming out of this thing. It looks anything but clean, because I've actually got the speakers plugged into the headphones at the front. I have 3 coming out of mine. You're just doing it wrong, man. Oh, I always do. That is my problem. My wife keeps telling me you're doing it wrong.
That's right.
I have no idea what she means. I'm like, I don't know. I thought I was doing it okay. No. No, it's like, but why do they put the 2 things in the front and then one in the back? I mean, we're talking about women or the Apple now? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Which are we talking? You're slowly degrading to dude named Ben's level of humor.
Really?
Oh yeah. Did you not see his tweet the other day? His X post where he's got a video of somebody with an Apple earpods that had put a little miniature bikini on the case for the earpods. And then, with the headphones sticking out of it, making boobs.
That is probably an exit strategy that we should have looked into.
Yeah. And then he's slowly shifting the bikini bottoms to the side to plug in the charging cable. I was like, oh my God, dude, this is like freaking junior high school level humor.
Waythorn says, I just tune in to hear Darren O go ape shit. Well, you are at the right episode for that. Also the right show. And Net wants to know why the power button
No, what do you mean
moved.
the right show? Darren goes ape shit 5 days a week, guys. You don't have to tune into this show at all.
No, I do it 7 days a week.
You can tune into his other shows. Well, yeah, you probably do, but they can tune in for 5 of those 7.
The power button at the bottom.
Do you do 7 days on the podcast now?
Now, there's nothing that goes and recorded live Saturdays or Tuesdays. And
that's what I thought. I thought it was 5.
I skipped random thoughts this week, so there was no Wednesday because I was neck deep in trying to figure out how to get everything working on this little machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The power button on the bottom is weird. I'll give you that.
One big advantage that you never have to turn off. One of the big advantages of the Mac is that it doesn't sit on the floor like my PC.
Yeah, so
it doesn't require me to lay down on the floor and reach behind the computer to plug in a cable.
Oh, I know.
I have to change a video monitor. Let me just lay down next to the computer and do it.
Well, it's even worse than that because the back of my desk has wood. So the computer is sitting in one of them things, that looks like it's a cabinet. It is a cabinet, but instead of drawers. So it's at the side of the computer, it's sitting to my side. And to get any of the USB cables in or out, or the speaker cables in or out, the monitor cables in or out, you have to bend over the fucking desk and reach behind. This is
you got to reach around. What?
You got a good old reach around, and it's like I'm fucking knocked because I'm lazy and I don't want to move everything off the desk, so I'm leaning over things and trying to get in, and then it's it's painful, and then you're like, what the fuck? This shouldn't be so hard. That is the one beautiful thing of having the device accessible right in front of you is that you can plug in, pull out anything without having to do gymnastics.
Pull out if you need to.
Right. I would suggest that's not the only thing you're relying upon, but
no.
Yeah, that did occur to me as well, is what a pain in the ass it is to plug things in when the computer itself is not.
Yeah. If they wanted to do it conveniently, the motherboard should face the top of a PC case, and all the cables should come out of the top of the case.
Yes.
And then bend around and go back down to wherever they eventually end up.
Even better, a breakout box.
Well, but you're just shifting the problem at that point. You're not solving it. You're just shifting the location of it.
I think you are, because you can put that on your desk then, and then everything's available.
You're going to have one clean cable coming out of a PC on your floor, going up to your desk, where you're going to have 20 different cables going out of there. Okay.
And that it's not on the floor. It is in a cabinet, which is
on the floor.
Well, the desk is on the floor, but it's not. It's not sitting on the floor. It's sitting on the whatever cheap press board this is that this thing's made out of.
Hey, how do you like my new mic boom?
Oh, what'd you get?
Well, I just replaced the old one with the same brand, but I've got it moving a lot more now, so my mic to mouth distance ratio should be more consistent now.
Oh, I like the mic to mouth distance ratio.
Yeah,
I've got.
You don't want to be mouthing your mic.
No, I've got an extension. I've got a.
Did you ever watch that?
What?
The on the Howard Stern show, the guests mouthing a RE320.
No.
Oh, you got to find that episode.
Oh, I'll be looking for it.
Yeah, they got the black one there.
I have.
It's bigger.
They always are for some reason. The black RE20s are bigger than the gray ones.
Yeah, they are.
I have some little spare pieces of wood with a couple of heavy duty Home Depot clamps, which holds my mic arm holder to the desk. And then there's an extension, I think, which was a Heil extension, which goes up 1.5 feet or so. And then I have my boom arm plugged into that. So it goes up over the monitor and gets right where I need it to.
Yeah, mine is the new fashioned kind that is just above the desk height and then inclines slowly up. So there's nothing above anything. It's all below me.
Well, everything's below you, Gene. Well,
that's true.
Your caviar guy, the recumbent bike club.
Jesus.
See, I figured out now that there's almost anything I can say and you're fine with. The recumbent bike, for some reason, that pokes at something a little closer to home, I think.
It's funny because the recumbent bike thing, I get it that it looks weird, right? I get that because your normal bike, you're up high, you're standing up. But you realize that making fun of a recumbent bike is like making fun of somebody that's in a actual race car and not a Camry.
So your recumbent bike is like a race car.
It's lower to the ground.
Oh, so more aerodynamic.
It is absolutely more aerodynamic. And the thing, and I don't have a recumbent bike, but I used to, which is why you're making fun of me. It's because I used to.
I mean, I've only heard stories.
And because Adam Curry made fun of me with my recumbent bike.
That's what's hitting home.
And by the way, and he's the guy that like had
he's too tall for a recumbent bike.
He had one of they're adjustable. But he had one of those Dutch looking bikes, which is basically a girl's bike with a big basket on the front.
Oh, like the tricycles, but they're like bike size.
No, it's not a tricycle. It's a bike, but it's like they actually use bikes as a means of movement in the Netherlands. They don't use them for recreational activities. It's
right, but I've seen like the Amish women driving around on those. But
you're bringing shit in.
Two wheels
that's not
on the
part
back.
of the story.
Well, you said Dutch. I mean, I thought that would be like Dutch, the Amish would be.
Not California Dutch or Pennsylvania Dutch even.
Okay, just regular Dutch.
Regular Dutch. And
double Dutch.
Yeah, and so he thought that was really cool to have one of those bikes with the basket on the front.
We got to carry your stuff somewhere.
I guess. I don't know. I have a car for that, but okay.
Yeah, granny bike. Exactly, Tom Tomsky.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Although I did have saddlebags on my recumbent bike.
Now, what if you just put a lazy boy and built that into a recumbent bike? Is that like the ultimate?
I've seen that. I think Al Bundy had one of those, or he had a dream where he had one of those.
The ultimate in comfort.
Mm-hmm. Lazy boy. I don't know where this comes from. Lazy boys are horrible. They're not comfortable whatsoever.
Well, it's a brand name that everybody
cheap
knows.
Pieces of crap.
Yeah.
Just one level above Walmart. And
I have a Palisade recliner.
They never made Palantir recliner.
Palisade, I think it is.
Yeah.
They do the home theater seating.
I just never liked them from sitting on them in the store. I always liked furniture that wasn't just made of really thick foam. I like furniture that had actual springs in it.
Well, yeah, like beds. I can't stand the memory foam stuff.
Now, memory foam's way better for beds. I know what you're talking about on that.
NetNet came in with 500 Satoshis. That's almost better than CSB. Yeah,
and that's still like 2 cents.
This will be worth millions one day, he says. How do you prove him wrong?
Hey, somebody sent me 50,000 Satoshis. What is that worth?
About $50 now. Close.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I should probably mention them. So that was on the other podcast I do.
They're like, wow.
Where people donate money.
You're like, Satoshis are going up. And Billy Bone says, listen to the Rock and Roll Pre-Show every Thursday and Sunday mornings. Right. And NetNet
he just says that, or he sent some money to say that?
He said that
with you're just reading ads for free now.
Well, if it's an ad for my show, like the bar is way lower than NetNet says, don't spend it on a fancy record player. I already have one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to. The record player, you know what? That whole thing is cheap when compared to the Apple ecosystem. Hey, do you like our computer? You don't even have to use our keyboard. And then you're like, well, I do like the computer. How much is the keyboard? And you're like, well, that's like what the computer cost. Why?
Well, it's not that much.
$200 for a keyboard.
Yeah. But okay.
But it's magic, right? That I get it.
It is magic. But also, you can get other keyboards for $200. I don't know. You don't have to spend it on the Apple one. I can send you a list of keyboards that are over $200 that are much better.
I'm sure. Because I don't like the low profile anyway.
Yeah. So get the one I sent you. Jesus Christ. I sent that to you. It's only $100. It's got the backlighted stuff.
Yeah. Send me that link on a Signal, which is also on my Mac Mini now. Ooh, yeah.
How else did I send it to you?
I think you texted it for some reason when I was at the
no, really?
the rehab place with my dad.
Like
you're
actually texted?
Yes. You're like, well,
that was my mistake.
You're like, well, you still have this number? And I'm like, why are you texting me?
Oh, it was that. Okay, let me find that.
Like, why are you doing this, Gene?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know. I didn't have my B12 today.
Oh, that's probably why.
Could be. Got to have that B12.
Now I got to find your
got to have the B12.
Darnell,
as they say in Ireland.
No, I did not. I'm looking here. I did not.
I thought it was. I'll check again on my other machine because that's the one thing with Signal that I don't like. Any of the old messages don't show up on your new machine, which I understand why they do it. But
security thing.
This whole security thing. You think Signal's really safer than anything else?
Absolutely.
That's why Gene uses it to get his caviar guy right out. Did you get your food ordered today? I did some food ordering today. All ready for next week. I mean, next week is Black Friday on our day, and I know the wife's off, so we'll need to.
Yeah. We might do a short show just to have enough time to buy things.
Yeah, I mean, there is some new Taylor Swift stuff coming out at Target. Only at Target on Black Friday. Only at Target. I mean, really, nobody donated to the show anyway, so if we skip, besides Dale from Down Under, if he's like, I want you guys to do a show, we're like, whoa, boom, we're there. Mm-hmm. We should actually just do a show just for Dale. Like this, we're not going to release it to anybody else.
I'm okay with that. Just instead of uploading the episode, just send an email link to Dale.
Right.
Hey, Dale, here's the show that you paid for.
Here's the show. You're the only one worthy of listening.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, that's a display docking station.
I got one of those.
Docking station that was $60 that you could have saved money on.
There was something about that docking station that didn't work for what I needed it to. No, it wasn't that. There was something that I was like, it didn't have the.
It's got Ethernet. It's got 3 display ports on it.
Yeah, but does it need the display port software? Because that's the other confusing thing. There are some that need the display port driver. I may be wrong.
$44. It was $44.
$44. Woo!
You went and bought one for $244. That's good. All right. I mean, look, you could spend money. I don't have any objection to you spending money on this stuff.
Just trying to make it all work together. And I will say, I mean, this is again kind of like going cold turkey, because the minute I plugged this machine in, I have not gone back and done anything besides go and remote in to try to get some information. I've done everything I need to do on this machine, and it seems to be more than capable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't mean that I might not be like, well, I should have even more than capable, which I guess is the beauty if the new, what do they call them, studios come out.
Mm-hmm.
I might be like, wow, I want the studio. Which just means the wife will get a Mac Mini. And that way I'll have both.
Yeah, I like how your rationalization for that.
That way I'll have both, and we'll all be free of Windows.
And you'll be Mac-ish all the way.
Well, yeah, because she uses an iPhone as her daily driver. I don't, but I have one.
You ought to have that. Yeah.
And I could just switch to that as my daily driver.
Mm-hmm.
This is only just going to lead to new iPads.
And the nice thing there is then you're going to want to start synchronizing your Edge, because then you'll be able to continue your browsing from the phone to the computer and backwards.
We are going to be edging right here on Unrelenting.
Speak for yourself, but okay.
Oh, you're done already? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
This is a completely different show after dark. But I will say,
Unrelenting After Dark.
Is that the spinoff?
Jesus.
That's what's going on to Rumble. That's going to be our video.
Oh yeah. That's the Rumble one. Yeah.
Our OnlyFans.
It's the OnlyFans one. Yeah.
This will be, I got to figure out why the pew pew thing isn't going pew pew.
How do I send this to you? Oh, there we go. I'm going to send it to you.
Oh, the flying toasters, Billy Bone says. I remember, this is when you know you're old enough when somebody says flying toasters and you're like,
oh, the screensaver?
Yeah. Like, oh, I remember that. That was so cool. That's when we used to have CRTs that made our rooms warm in the wintertime and unbearable in the summertime.
Oh, yeah. That were about 4 feet deep.
Dude, what was the biggest CRT?
How did we have desks back then? Were all the desks double wide or what?
And the funny thing is, this desk
put a monitor that's 3 feet deep on your desk.
I'm pretty sure this is the desk I had even back when there was a CRT, and it was not easy to do. My buddy sent me one from California, and it was a 27-inch CRT, which at the time was big. You're like,
that's
whoa.
Huge. Yeah.
27-inch. Woo.
That's insane.
Uh-huh. They did get warm.
Yeah. Which ones? I always like the NAC ones.
I
thought they had the best picture.
It was a whole different world back then.
Mm-hmm.
But with less than a week in, I will say, I think once everything is set up the way that makes sense to me, that it will be more than fine as a daily driver, and it should be better in audio than the Windows machine, because the one thing I did notice is that there is like no issue at all with the latency stuff in mix.
Nope.
You're not seeing like the Windows system try to be like, nope, we're going to take the resources that you need and move them over here.
Yeah, and you've got all the individual channels of the Motu mapping now in the Mac, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And that just kind of worked right out of the box, which was amazing.
Yep.
I'm like, oh wow, that's just there. And then I just had to figure out a little more with the with Loopback on how I could then go create a channel, like say out of the that's how I'm doing the Chrome, which is what you're in.
Yeah.
To bring that back out. And I'm like, oh wait, you could just then choose that right there. Oh, okay. Again, everything's just slightly different.
Yeah, but it's more better. That's all.
It's Mo Better Blues. There's so many things open. So many things open.
And, you know, the other thing that's also built in, which I use on my laptop, I don't use it on the desktop a whole lot because I have a huge 4K 47-inch screen on the Mac here. But on the laptop, I use each app goes into its own virtual desktop. And then you just swipe left and right between your apps instead of trying to just find which window behind all the other windows your app is.
Yeah, I'm going to need to set something like that up as well. But again, it's all just
with
learning.
Multiple monitors, it's not as big a deal, but on the laptop, it's absolutely required.
Yeah, and I like having the triple. This just kind of feels like a lot less has changed because it's still the thing. The control room's where it is. It's a different Windows Explorer. Instead of that, we just have double Commander instead. But one thing I realized that the Mac stuff seems to be, and it might also be in Directory Opus, because Directory Opus is by far the best Windows Explorer replacement. But right out of the box, you could add, which for me was a godsend, being able in your Explorer, besides just, the size of the file, it allowed you to add the time of an audio file.
Yeah.
Which for me, it's like, okay, when coming to the end of the rock and roll pre-show, and I'm like, I need a song that's 3 minutes and 48 seconds long. And now it's just like, boom, there it is. You can see exactly, rather than like mousing over.
There it is.
Boom, there it is. So, I mean, it is a little more convenient in some ways, but I'm thinking that since I'm already using over 16 gig of memory doing a few of the things that I'm doing of the RAM, maybe I need more.
No, you don't need more.
Maybe I need more. What do you guys think? We need more. Donate. I need more.
You definitely don't need more. I
need more Gene. No, wait, no, that's not what I need.
It's going to use memory for caching. So it'll use what you have available to minimize the amount of time it has to go to the drive. But it will run just fine if you have less available as well.
I need more memory.
Oh my God.
Do I need B12? Can I order a B12 add-on?
A B12 upgrade? Yeah.
Yeah. I need a B12 upgrade. Stat. You got that for me?
You know, every memory you've got in your brain right now can fit into 16 gigabytes.